Simo was a sparrow, small and brown, whose world was a nest tucked in the ivy on the old library wall. It was a world defined by the sound of his mother's chirps and the warm, feathery press of his two brothers. But that world shattered the day the storm came. A furious wind clawed at the ivy, and with a final, sickening lurch, the nest tore free. Simo remembered a dizzying fall, a crash, and then nothing. He woke up alone, cold, and terrified. The nest was gone. His family was gone. The first day was a blur of fear. He huddled under a bush, chirping his mother's call a week, questioning, "Cheep? Cheep? Cheep?" But only the dripping rain answered. The vastness of the world was overwhelming. He was a tiny, lost note in a loud, sprawling song. Hunger eventually forced him to be brave. He watched other sparrows, mimicking their hops and pecks. He learned to find crumbs on the library steps and to sip water from a leaky gutter. He grew stronger, his feathers filling out, but a hollow loneliness lived inside him. He was surviving, but he wasn't living. He was an island in a sea of other birds who all seemed to have a place to go. One afternoon, a soft, rhythmic sound caught his ear. It wasn't a sparrow's chirp, but a gentle cooing. Drawn by a deep, unexplainable pull, Simo fluttered up to the library's rooftop ledge. A family of plump, gray doves was gathered there, their coos a soothing lullaby. The largest dove, a male with a shimmering neck, tilted his head and observed the time. The largest dove, a male with a shimmering neck, tilted his head and observed the tiny, trembling sparrow. Simo, expecting to be chased away, puffed up his feathers and let out a defensive chirp. The big dove didn't move. Instead, he cooed again, a deep, resonant sound that felt strangely warm. Then, one of the younger, clumsier doves waddled over and dropped a crushed berry at Simo's feet. It was an offering. Cautiously, Simo pecked at the berry. The young dove watched him, then cooed softly, the sound of simple, uncomplicated companionship. Day after day, Simo returned. He never tried to enter their nest. He was a sparrow, and they were doves, but he shared their ledge. They taught him the best sun-warmed spots, in which library visitors carried the best snacks. They didn't speak the same language, but they built a quiet understanding. They had become his strange, mismatched flock. Simo learned that his own high-pitched chirps could blend with their low coos to create a new, unique song. He learned to play, chasing feathery down in the wind with the young doves. The hollow space inside him began to fill, not with the memory of what was lost, but with the warmth of what was found. He still remembered his first family. A quiet ache would sometimes surface when he saw a sparrow family flitting by. But he was no longer lost. He had a home, not in a nest of twigs, but on a sunny ledge, surrounded by the gentle coos of those who had found him. They had taught a lost little sparrow named Simo that family isn't always about who you hatch with. Sometimes, it's about who finds you when you're lost and offers you a berry, a coo, and a place to belong.